Hey guys, this is Bruce.
And this is Seth, and you're listening to the BS Podcast. So this is our very first episode. So understandably, it's gonna be a little bit fucky to put it into simple words. Um, we plan on having this go on for a little while at least. Probably go on to Spotify and here down the road. Maybe we'll start streaming on Twitch at some point once we get far enough with this. Uh, Typically, we will be recording on Fridays between 7 and 8, and I should have it up either later that night on Friday or sometime into Saturday. Now, as we have said, this is my friend Bruce. Me and him. I want to say hi again, Bruce.
Oh, we gotta say hi again.
Just want to say hi
You guys said
again.
hi first, though.
Whatever. This is my friend Bruce. He is my co-host. The one producing this podcast is my beautiful, lovely fiance Brianna. I don't know if you can hear her say hi or not.
Hello.
You probably did not hear that, I'm sure. But she will be producing for us here down the road. I plan on getting her a mic so that she can, of course, be a part of this experience with us. That would be wonderful. And today, even though it's kind of weird because it's our first episode, but I felt it was nice. We have my good friend Brayden. Go ahead, Brayden, say hi.
What's happening?
Alrighty. So, yeah, I plan on having some of our friends get in on this. My brother is a Twitch streamer. His name is I don't know his name that well, to be honest with you, but I'm sure some of my listeners down the line will probably know who he is. I plan on getting him on here in at a later date. But so the first subject I want to talk about, he's already laughing because he already knows what it is. I want to talk about this Area 51 thing. It's it's a weird subject because you have over 400,000 people saying that they're just going to storm Area 51. So
I mean, I'm sure they have a round for each and every one of them.
I'm sure they do. But how do you guys think that it's going to go for them?
I don't think it's gonna happen.
I think it's gonna go phenomenally. I think that all these little Naruto runners are gonna start up with Kyles and their four-wheel drive Chevys, and it's gonna be a magnificent time with a couple of mounds of 50 cals.
I think obviously it's not going to happen. It's a meme, but if it did happen,
You agree?
I think if all 400,000 of them came in with like 5 magazines of 30 with AR-15s, I think they could give the security forces of Area 51 a little fight for their money.
It's Area 51. You know they got lasers and shit. Like,
They don't have.
I mean, how are you gonna fight back?
I think it's a minefield. Is what I heard. They have a minefield around the base,
Well, I mean,
except for a certain
can't
path.
talk about what they have.
Yeah,
They
that's
have
my
anything.
point. That's why it's so.
How fucking funny would it be if they get in there, right? They storm it, they succeed, and then like 5 of them go in and the rest stay outside just to keep, security for the Army, the National Guard, Secret Service, and all that shit. Then 5 guys just come out. It's like it's just fucking planes.
That's what it is. That's
There's
what
no-
I think.
There's no aliens in there. It's just planes. And they just hundreds of thousands of people died to look at planes.
You know, I don't really think it's that funny that they would have died, but
I think it's
I think it's pretty
hilarious.
I
funny.
mean,
Yeah, it's
well,
pretty
a
fucking
little
funny.
bit. It is pretty funny, but I don't know. I think it probably is just planes.
I think they definitely have quite a few 50 cals
Yeah.
sitting around on the
Yeah.
walls there,
Just sitting there, just for posterity.
and I think they're gonna show up. I think they're all gonna stop. I don't think they're gonna stop. I think they're just gonna bum rush it.
ET is gonna come out and start raping everybody.
I think they're gonna bum rush it, and I think these 50s are just gonna start mowing people down. To be honest with you.
See, I think it would be funny though. Is just in preparation for this, if they just put rubber bullets in all the 50s and just started knocking people in the fucking head.
I'm
Just
just.
watch them get knocked
What's
the
the
fuck
point?
out. Just to have target practice
Wouldn't it? So I've been.
on the lower population.
I've gone through the CS gas chamber, which is tear gas. And I know how shitty that feels. And I think as soon as any of them feel that CS gas, they're gonna be like, never mind. They're gonna have that snot going down to their knees, and they're gonna be crying and vomiting and coughing, and they're gonna be like, maybe aliens aren't really worth all this
we
shit.
should just go home.
Maybe you know,
Maybe not worth it.
what if the aliens that we've found are like not the aliens that we think they are? Like, what if they're just a bunch of Neanderthals? Like, what if we're the aliens to those uncivilized things
How do you know
in
they're not
outer
civilized?
space? How do we know they are civilized?
What if they're massively civilized and that's the reason you're keeping them in Area 51 because we're just peasants?
What if we free them and they just fucking eradicate everyone? Like destroy all. Like,
Become like a plague.
you remember that Destroy All Humans game on the PS2? What if they're like those guys and we free them and they just start murking everyone?
Blowing people down with their fucking eye lasers and telekinesis and shit.
Well, then how come how are they not broken out yet?
They don't want to. They don't want to see the population.
Maybe the government is more advanced than we know, and they actually have them pretty well held down.
Here's my thing. We only know about, well, okay, if Area 51's so like high tech and top secret, how many more Area 50s or 20s do you think there are?
So I know that there is an Area 52. That's definitely a thing. There is an Area 52 Air Force Base, and I don't remember what state it's in, but there is an Area 52. So, fun fact that not a lot of people know. Bill Nye said, I could be wrong. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I'm pretty sure I saw in one of his videos. He said he used to work at Area 51 Air Force Base building planes.
That's a lie, because if he said that,
No. He was just
Yeah, lie.
designing and helping build planes, which isn't that secretive.
well, I mean,
And I mean, you have CIA guys that come out every day and talk about people that they hit and all that kind of stuff, and nothing happens to them. It's just about because things get classified and then they get declassified. So things will be a secret that later down the line they'll be like, we can talk about this. Doesn't really matter
This is
anymore.
okay now.
And it's not like Bill Nye was like, these are the planes that I built. These are the blueprints for the planes I built. He just said that. And again, I could be wrong.
I built the plane.
He just said, I was there and I helped design planes for the military. And you'd be surprised because at the time, a lot of these planes looked like UFOs. Like when they first designed the stealth bomber,
Yeah.
which is like well known to the whole American public. When they were test flying that around like California and Las Vegas, people thought they were UFOs.
Of course they thought it was a UFO in California.
Because if you look at if you look at this plane, it doesn't look like a normal fucking plane.
It looks like a
weird.
piece of paper.
Yeah.
It
like-
does.
I've seen a couple in
It's a
air shows,
massive paper airplane.
and it's like flying over. It's not as big as you think it would be, too. Like, I thought it would have been like massive, like
Yeah.
some Halo 3 type shit, but like it isn't that big. I mean, it's pretty big,
It
but
just
it's not that big.
it looks weird. It doesn't look like every other plane. It's not built like a normal
They
plane.
go
It's-
off a weird type of fuel, if I'm correct. I may be wrong. I believe they go off of a really weird kind of fuel compared to like normal planes. I'm not sure. I'm not a
Don't they-
planeologist.
Don't they normally run off petroleum or something like that? Petroleum oil?
I think so, yeah. But it could be a different type of fuel, like what Brayden's saying for the stealth aspect.
'Cause I
of
know
it,
that-
they can track the heat in the sky.
Because
Quick disclaimer. We do not build planes.
Yeah, we're fucking stupid.
Well,
This would be
I know
complete
that-
bullshit.
when I lived in when I lived in Seneca,
Brayden thinks he's smart.
no,
Let him speak.
my uncle was telling me about there was a plane that had crashed like across the river into somebody's house, and during the air show when it crashed, it was like they had to quarantine like half the neighborhood because it was like something was really toxic in the fuel or something like that, or it wasn't safe. Not only that, I mean, a plane did just fucking crash into somebody's house, so a
So
government plane.
it's definitely a bit of a fucky topic. Because it's like when we all think of a UFO, we think of a fucking flying saucer and shit.
Frisbee with aliens inside.
Like what if a UFO is like the Wright brothers style plane?
True.
And I really enjoy Bill Nye, so I look forward to making on this. And I think Neil deGrasse Tyson might have actually commented on this. But Bill Nye said the chances that there is aliens, like we think of them to be, they would not be in our solar system. Which means they would literally be light years away from our planet. Which means by the time they got here, everyone they know, everyone they love, and more than likely their planet would be dead.
Would be gone.
They'd be dead. So if they were here, they would either be here for war reasons or to colonize, and they wouldn't be here to just fly over and look inside people's anuses.
And just say, hey, you guys. Like, no,
They wouldn't. They wouldn't be here for that. They would be here to stay, to colonize, take over, things like that. It would more than likely be for a war effort.
I mean, I don't believe in aliens.
So,
Personally, I don't think that it's anything. I don't think there's anything.
well, there could be nothing in Area 51.
Because I'm a kind of biblical guy, so I mean, I believe what was in the Bible, but I mean, it says God created heaven and earth, and it doesn't say anything about aliens.
Well, just because it doesn't touch on it doesn't mean that it's not a thing. It doesn't talk about iPhones in the Bible. When it talks, Jesus Christ, when it talks about Revelations, when it talks into Revelations and things like that, and it talks about the time where Jesus returns, and I don't want this to get into a biblical podcast, but it doesn't talk about the technology that we had. It never said that we would have cars, that nuclear bombs would fly around and things like that, which, I mean, I feel like by now we've all kind of accepted that that would probably be the end of the world.
Yeah.
Is
Massive war.
massive war.
It talks about it in the Bible. It talks about a really big, conflict.
But it doesn't talk about the technology we would have at the time. It doesn't say that
Well,
we
because
would
the
have.
Lord gave everyone free will, so
Right.
we have the freedom to create what we want.
So who's to say that he didn't make this world and look down at us and be like, oh fuck, these guys, this is not what I wanted when I made two people, right? And maybe he went on to another place. Maybe he made something else.
I mean, hey,
There's a lot of things that aren't like it. Briefly brushes over dinosaurs.
Right.
Like, they don't go in depth on that at all. It's a brief brush over.
I don't know.
But we discover millions of kinds of dinosaurs all the time.
Even new ones to every day. Different parts and kinds of dinosaurs.
Different types of plants, different types of a lot of things. And to my knowledge, I'm not a pastor. To my knowledge, it never really went into the Ice Age, which we know to be true.
We know what happened, right?
Well, I mean, maybe I guess it does because it talks about a great flood and things of that sort. But I'm pretty sure that they just talk about a storm.
Right.
They don't talk about the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs.
What if the meteor didn't happen? What if that was the flood that wiped out the dinosaurs? Because that's why alligators are still alive. They're believed to be prehistoric. It's ironic that amphibian dinosaurs or animals are still alive and not dead because they can swim.
Right, but
And
Then
survive
what-
great climates.
then what would have happened to something like the megalodon? Something that lives.
It was a flood. It swims.
yeah,
it's
the
a shark.
megalodon
But it's
swims,
extinct.
but it's extinct.
That we
And
only,
they were the
we don't know
apex
that.
predator then.
We don't know that for sure because we've only explored like what 3% of our ocean.
With the way the megalodon, so that's just going like deeper down. So the way the megalodon's body was developed, it could not handle pressure. The megalodon hunted and lived closer to the shallower surface of the ocean.
Evolution.
So
Stuff changes.
I mean, there's definitely a chance that it evolved and went deeper down in the ocean, which I think would be amazing. Because I would
Yeah.
love that the megalodon would still be around.
I
That would be
wouldn't.
fucking awesome.
That would not be awesome. Have you seen the Meg?
Yeah, that movie
That
was
thing was
terrible.
fucking people
Yeah.
up, dude.
Yeah, but that movie was
it's
terrible.
a movie with
It's a
Jason
good movie.
Statham. It
It
has
Bro,
good
Jason-
acting.
I think that's the only movie I've seen Jason Statham playing where literally I can see that he hates the movie.
Yeah.
Like, Watch him play the transporter.
It's a megalodon.
In the transporter, he's like this bad motherfucker. Even in like Hobbs and Shaw that's coming out,
Right.
He looks badass.
he's like
He is.
loving the part. You can tell like
Because he
him,
gets to fight.
him and Dwayne Johnson, you can tell when he
Yeah.
loves the part. And I feel like in that movie he's just like, what the fuck am I doing here?
I think they have good chemistry though.
Yeah,
He's like
it's
a
a-
chill white guy, and Dwayne Johnson's like just a big dude, but he's just Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
I love how you call him white, but you don't even tell about what the Rock is.
The Rock is isn't he Samoan?
So, yeah, Samoan.
I think he's
Samoan.
well, Hawaiian's
No,
not
it's
a thing.
Polynesian.
It's
Something
like
like
He's Polynesian.
Polynesian.
Polynesian's the thing. I actually had
That's his
a
type of sauce.
yeah, it's what it's based off of, Brayden. Polynesian sauce is based off of Hawaiian people because there's like pineapple flavor. That's literally what it gets its name from.
That's interesting.
You learn new things in this podcast.
See, Brayden's really not a smart guy.
Neither are we though, so you
Yeah.
can't really talk shit. I only know that because I had a guy in my basic training unit.
some training.
Okay, anyway, sorry, little production thing there. We had a guy in my basic training unit that was from an island, a small island called Tonga, which is like literally a fucking period mark on the map. Like you can barely see it from a map. So he's from there, and they're a Polynesian people. So you've got like Hawaiians, and then like a few thousand other islands that are Polynesian people. I don't know how that shit works. I'm
Islanders
American.
in general. Right?
I am very white.
Yeah, I mean, me too.
Brayden, we know.
Yeah, I'm the whitest man you'll ever meet.
But I'm tan, so I get a pass. So next subject I want to talk about. I'm very excited for, and the internet's going crazy over this person, and I really want to talk about how she blew up so fast. And her name is Belle Delphine.
Isn't that the chick that like is like on Pornhub, but she's not making porn?
So we're gonna get into that. She is
Oh my
an Instagram model known for sexual pictures and making these like little fucking, I don't know, anime cum
Porn.
shotty. Shut the fuck up. Anime cum shotty type faces. Like she'll cross her eyes and stick her tongue out like she's getting a cum shot in her face. Which is fucking hilarious to me. So she makes. Bitch, I swear to God. What? Sorry, another production thing.
Yeah, we have a dumb cunt in the room. Sorry. he's
Hey,
just a
watch
faggot.
Watch the sea.
Watch your fucking mouth. Anyway, we do not condone that kind of bondage.
I'm sorry.
I do.
It's very,
He's very stupid.
yeah, he's just a very dumb guy.
Anyway, moving past that now, I'm trying to segue back into our fucking topic. Oh my god.
Jesus.
Oh
Sorry,
my god.
he's coming back.
As if you
I'm
couldn't
gonna
be
slap
louder.
him.
What have you got
Fucking
tennis
slap
balls?
him. Anyway, Belle Delphine. So she's known for pornographic photos online. She has a premium Snapchat that you can pay her for, or she'll send you nudes, which is fucking weird to me because I've never seen a nude of her on Instagram or on the internet.
Yeah.
She puts on her Instagram like no screenshots allowed. But how does she stop someone from taking a screenshot?
Yeah, that's true.
Are these honorable people that are just paying for porn?
These are the like most honest porn addicts I can think of.
Yeah, I don't think
Does
I
that's
she-
mean, how has somebody not been like, hey boys, we did it, and put her stuff out there?
That amazes me. I don't know how that happens. I think she honestly like has a higher tech crew than we give her props for. Like she definitely has a cameraman.
Yeah,
You can tell that she's not taking pictures on her phone. So I want to know. I think she probably has a marketing team. I'm imagining she sold out of bathwater, her
That
own
is true.
bath
That
water.
is true.
and now she's selling a tote of her bathwater for $10,000.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I'm sorry.
I-
Who
but
would
you can-
buy?
There's
you can-
people out there to do it.
You can get it with a for $10,000. You can get it, and she has a video of her bathing in it that you can also pay her for, which I think is an upsell.
Yeah.
So my production fiance here is showing us the pictures of her taking the bath.
That's
That makes you. It's kind of gross to me because like
people fart in that bathwater.
her vaginal fluids are in there.
Right.
You know that's what's in it. You know that's
Yeah.
why everybody's buying it.
Right.
And she has a video of her like drooling in it.
Yeah.
What are you doing with this bathwater?
Dude, some people are weird. Like I
Well,
watch.
yeah, but
I would like to I would buy it as a meme. Like someone would come
We
to
all
my
know
house.
why you really want to buy it.
Someone would
Seth.
come to my house. I'd be like, I have bathwater from somebody.
Like
And
a
it's like,
serial
why do
killer.
you have that? Why don't you?
Dude,
But like, I wouldn't buy Mia Khalifa's bathwater.
Right.
I wouldn't buy, a regular porn star's bathwater.
Probably like her
This
piece
is
of
a
shit.
new kind of person.
why would you want to buy anyone's bathwater in general? That's
I don't know, but
take
they
your
buy
own
it.
bath.
They buy it by a mason jar that's like maybe 4 or 5 inches tall for $30 a pop. Can you not show my team memes? Get the fuck out of here. Go sit quietly in a corner. I'm sorry, I have a dumb motherfucker on set right now. Anyway, so my production here is showing us the videos that she has of her doing the bath. She's got videos of her like masturbating, I guess, on the
Oh,
shower
yeah,
head.
she's just squirting
She's
a
just
shower
spraying
head
herself in the
right in
V.
the asshole. No, that's
So
right
I've-
in the asshole.
Have you seen her pictures
Mhm.
online? So I think she has a set. I don't think that's actually her room.
No,
I think
she's
it's a
one of
marketing thing.
Yeah,
she's
it's
one of those
definitely
people
marketing.
that has like their own premium stuff. Because there's, I mean, not to sound like a perv, but I am a man, so I've seen pornographic people. But her name is like Lacey K. Somers. She would sell.
You know the exact name.
Yeah, because I followed her forever on Instagram, and then
Not to be a perv.
I got Instagram when I was like freaking 13. That's why you get it when it first came out. It's freaking porn. But
Just to establish, now we are all over the age of 18. This is
She-
not child
she used to
pornography.
like sell it. Like she would literally have it on Snapchat and sell it to people.
Her on Snapchat.
It was like her own private Snapchat. She just snapped people, like random people,
Yeah.
as if it was like an assembly line of nude Snapchats that she was sending
I-
people on the daily.
I can kind of understand why
Like
people
you pay, it's like a membership kind of thing.
I can understand why people would pay Belle Delphine for her Snapchat because you don't get there is no naked photos of her online at
Right.
all. There's her in like skimpy stuff with being almost nude, but there is no naked photos of her online. There's some pretty close ones, but there is no naked photos of her online.
Right.
And as people, we always kind of want more. You want that thing that you just cannot have.
Especially if you're like addicted to that type of thing.
There's Photoshop.
Right, but that's not the same. So these people are
hey,
getting.
If you make one, it's like a build your own woman
But
kind of thing.
at the
It's-
same time, I'm wondering. So, like the Pornhub thing. So she said she posted a picture on Instagram, and she said if this post gets, I think it was like 100,000 likes or something like that, I'll make a Pornhub account. So the Instagram got 100,000 likes or whatever number it was,
500,000.
and she made a Pornhub account. Now she does not put porn on it.
No.
She will put.
she's a complete like joke.
She's a troll.
Yeah.
It's
She
hilarious.
literally, like, I saw a post on like Instagram or something. It was like it said the caption was like playing with my pussy. It was really just her like holding her cat, just petting the thing. I mean, she's not wrong. The title isn't fake, but that's not what people. You gotta give the people what they want, man.
Her fans were so angry. That has like I think like 30 or 40% dislikes on Pornhub.
I mean,
I think it's more than that. I think it's like 60%.
I'm
if
not
I was
sure.
a fan of something.
I am not fact checking anything we're saying. But so she has like joke videos with suggestive titles where she's doing exactly what she's saying but as a joke. So people got pissed off about that. So I'm wondering, since there's no actual nude photos of her, I'm wondering if you pay for the Snapchat, if she actually gives you nudes. I feel like she's not giving out nudes because then they would be
Yeah,
out
they
there.
would be somewhere.
There'd
Here's
be
the thing.
no way to stop her.
Here's the thing. You can call her gross for doing what she's doing,
She's a
but you can
genius.
also she's a fucking genius because
I want to
you
get in on that.
Right.
you know people will buy it because they want to see it. And then let's say she's not sending people things if they pay for it. Other people are still gonna buy it because they want to see it.
She
There's
is
some goofy horn dogs out there that really want to see this shit.
She-
They'll pay money, but it's not like her pics are out there anyway, so people are gonna have to be desperate to get them.
what's crazy to me. So she's kind of like a softcore version of Mia Khalifa. Because remember when Mia Khalifa first got around, she blew up.
Yeah.
Like she was
Massive.
all over the place. You saw memes of her everywhere. She was all over every porn site. Now Belle Delphine's around, and it's just like people that look like Belle Delphine.
Right.
It's a lot of lookalikes. It's a lot of things about her, and a lot of incest. Strangely enough, I don't know why that's popular.
Yeah, it's very
Porn
popular.
today,
though.
I
Very
feel like
What
if
are
you
doing,
scroll
Seth,
down,
bro?
I feel like if you scroll down, it's always like brother, sister,
Right.
son, mom,
Mom's not home.
daughter, dad, stepmoms. Like it's insane the amount of incest on there, and I don't like it.
No, it's like the back tail's coming back. It's just
Uh, I am not a fan, and it makes me wonder about my country.
makes me a little uncomfortable when I see that throwing down more.
Because now I have to actually search things. I don't know what I want to see.
Well,
I'm just getting on the toilet. I don't know what I want yet.
I mean, not everyone is a porn addict. I can't say
I am.
that I mean, I'm not. But, I mean, it seems to me that if one does what Belle Delphine is doing, she's got to be making I'm in. She's got to be making.
So she has
serious money.
merch.
Oh, yeah.
She has merchandise you can buy.
I mean,
I believe so, at least.
personally, I
Can
think
you fact check that?
I think she's kind of gross in a
Can
way.
you look that up? Oh, she's only 19. I'm being told. She's only 19 years old, and I'm pretty sure she's a millionaire.
Yeah, she definitely makes more money than all
Can
of
we?
us.
Can you look that up on the
What's her net
computer?
worth?
The net worth.
You can just speak.
I don't know. It's kinda
4.3 million followers on
On
Instagram.
Instagram.
You can talk. You
That's
know,
a lot
you don't have
for
to be
somebody
you're a
that
part of
hasn't
the
been out
podcast.
there that long. There's plenty of accounts that I'm sure are just as close as hers.
And she's only
Yeah, but-
following 511 people.
She's only following 511 people in
That's
being
kind
told.
of insane.
Just by the way, just to add, 2 of those are the H3 podcast and PewDiePie.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming she's 19 years old
Yeah, I
because
think that's
it
right.
says Belle 19.
Yeah, she's 19 years old.
So
That makes sense.
She's
Cool.
19 years old, and she's capitalizing on her body, which she's really not even selling.
Yeah, no.
I mean, she even has her own website.
She has her own website. Does she have merch on there?
I'm
You look that up?
assuming.
She's gonna look that up completely.
Part of me
first.
feels like
Just to
honestly,
fact check that.
she's probably not even put pictures out there.
Probably
I
not.
mean,
I don't think she
nobody-
does.
Like she's probably just teasing everyone.
Well, I mean, think about like bringing up Snapchat. No, mindful, I do not have any of these because I think that's stupid. But anyway,
I don't like Snapchat.
yeah, it's stupid.
I'm
But I think if
barely
you pay for premium Snapchat, you can't like revoke it if you see she's not actively posting. So no matter what, she gets whatever the amount is.
You can't tell me there's not some dude out there who wants to screenshot these private things and put them everywhere for the world to see.
Right, so I don't
I
think
mean,
he
to
would
get
be-
on her
He would be
website,
a hero
you have to
to
click
many
that
people
you're
if he did.
over 18.
So it's a pornographic website of sorts, which makes sense. Definitely makes sense.
Right.
However, you know the people following her are not over. Most of them are probably not over the age
probably
of
like
12.
13, right?
It's like
going through
14,
puberty.
15-year-olds, and that's why they're going on Pornhub. And they're like, "How could you?
Right.
How could you do this to me? How am I supposed to wank my little
You don't
tallywhacker?"
sound like a kid. You
That's
sound
how
like
they sound to
grandma.
me. That's
Yeah.
how they fucking sound.
That's how
Right?
kids, yeah.
You sound like 90-year-olds.
Yes. Anyway, let's get off of this. This is a big thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about the Jorge Masvidal versus Ben Askren fight. So this fight
UFC.
right now, this UFC fight, is now holding the record for the fastest knockout in UFC history.
It was like 5 seconds.
And keep in mind, he was really out in 2 seconds, but it took 5 seconds for the ref to stop the fucking fight. So Jorge Masvidal went on a bunch of podcasts saying, "I'm gonna hurt this motherfucker." He hates Ben Askren. I understand. Fuck Ben Askren. He doesn't belong in the UFC. But he said, "I hate this fucking guy. I'm going to torture him and hurt him for as long as possible." And he lied. He knocked him out in 2 seconds.
I think that was the plan.
So my thing with the fight. So Ben Askren, for people that don't know, is a wrestler that used to train with TJ Dillashaw back in the day. I don't know how long he's been taking boxing and kickboxing, but I saw his debut fight, and I gotta be honest with you, he got pummeled. Like his face was all bloody and
Well,
messed up.
I mean, his record doesn't show he got pummeled very much. He was 19-0 until this fight.
I know. I'm talking about his UFC career.
That's 19. He's 19-0.
How was he? No, he's not. That was in his wrestling career.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, I thought that was UFC.
No, he just debuted like right before I left for basic training.
That was the John Jones.
That was the John Jones fight.
And then when Usman and what's his
TJ
face?
Dillashaw.
Yeah. No, Usman didn't fight Dillashaw.
Yes, he did.
No, that was Tyron Woodley.
Tyron
Usman.
Woodley. I'm standing correctly. He trained with Tyron Woodley, not TJ Dillashaw.
Yeah,
My-
TJ Dillashaw is a bad. He's a druggie.
TJ Dillashaw's pretty tough.
He is a badass.
But so
when he's
Ben
not
Askren,
juiced.
Ben Askren is a hell of a wrestler. I can't take that from him. He's an insanely good wrestler. If I'm not, I don't know what he trained, what he competed in. I think he competed in some kind of.
He's a pretty good grappler.
He's a hell of a wrestler. I don't know about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but he's a hell of a wrestler. So his thought going into fights is, I'm going to wrestle, which in an MMA standpoint is not a good thing to go off of.
Not smart.
While I competed in MMA for a while, I did really well in MMA, not to toot my own horn. Anyway, so you can't. I'm a guy that mainly prefers the ground. I like ground and pound. I like submissions, takedowns. I love grappling. However, it's good to play off your strength, but you have to mix it up. That is why it's called mixed martial arts.
Right.
So he's going in with a wrestler's mindset. I'm just going to wrestle this guy to the ground, and I'm going to take him down, and that's where I'm going to get my win. So his debut fight, he goes again. I can't remember who he was fighting. I'm sure somebody could look that up. But he gets demolished. They should have cut the fight way earlier on. This guy has him on a ground and pound. Ben's face is all bloody. He's been fucked up. The round ends. It goes on to the next round. And somewhere along the lines, after getting his head smashed in, he managed to get a submission on this guy. That's luck. Me, as a fighter, I would not have given him that. And if I was the ref, I would have called the fight when I realized how bloody and messed up his face was from that fight.
Well, I mean,
and
some
now
people can still compete. I mean, you can't just cut it off. I mean, if they can still compete, I mean, if they want to go, it should be up to them. The ref can't just cut it knowing that. Let's say, if you got a weak chin, I mean, you're gonna get knocked out. But if he doesn't know what you're capable of, I mean, some people are capable of taking a fucking beating.
But if you're that bloody, beat the fuck down, just after a few hits, I wouldn't let you go on.
Right. Yeah.
That's permanent. People don't realize that is permanent
Permanent
brain damage.
Yeah. Get your head badge.
That's why-
About 5 minutes. It doesn't do good for you in the long run.
Yeah.
That's why Jason Mayhem Miller got out of the game. Because he said that's what happens. You're going to go so far that you literally end up with brain damage, and maybe you get lucky enough to be a bouncer.
That's what
somewhere.
happened, I think, Muhammad Ali. He had that one. What was it called? Where he had the shakes and shit all the time. He had trouble speaking.
I'm not
Taking
sure,
too
but
many shots to the
You
head.
get hit in the
Some
head
sort
so
of
many
disease,
times,
yeah.
it's gonna fuck you up. So a lot of people can't go on like that. So I think knowing that, if I was a ref, so some people hate it, most people hate it when refs call fights too early. It's like, oh, well, let him go on, let him go on, let him go on. But you don't realize then it sometimes has to rest on the ref's conscience that I'm the reason this dude is now literally fucking special. This guy's fucked in the head for the rest of his life.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, while it was his choice. Anyway, fuck this topic. Let's get back to the fight. So Ben Askren leads with a double leg takedown.
Yeah.
Now, I trained Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for 4 years, and I trained Jeet Kune Do kickboxing for about 5 or 6 years. Okay? So, from my personal experience, and as someone that prefers grappling, I would never leave a fight charging the enemy's legs. Especially when the guy's sprinting at me. What am I going to do? Some fucking Batman shit where I flip him over my head? It's not going to happen. So Jorge Masvidal does exactly what anybody would do. And he flying knees this guy right in the skull. And drops him. And then gets up. And I mean, yeah, he does, granted, he does fly over Ben Askren's shoulder there.
Yeah.
But he knocks him out with his knee. And then just starts smashing his face in. And then the ref comes over. He was done. He was down for the count when that knee came in. He should not have dropped his head down and looked for that takedown that early in the match. He should have known this is the guy. If he'd watched any of those podcasts, he should have known this is the guy that wants to hurt me.
Right.
He doesn't care about the win. He doesn't care about the loss. He just wants to fucking hurt me. He should have came in looking to stand up, get close to him, close distance, try to clinch him up, and then take him down from the clinch. I would never, ever, ever lead a fight with a double leg. I couldn't see that ever going well for anybody.
Yeah, no.
Even the best of wrestlers.
Yeah.
There is, I don't know if what he fights out of, but there was an Olympic judo champion that fought in mixed martial arts, professional. I don't know if he was in Bellator or UFC or what, but he's an Olympic champion. I don't even think he would lead a fight with a double leg. Then again, I could be wrong.
Right.
But I would never lead a fight with a double leg takedown.
Yeah.
I don't know why anybody would want to do that.
It's not smart. Especially because it looked like he didn't even think. He just immediately started the fight with a double leg takedown. He didn't even give him a breather.
I hate to take it back just a tad, but I'm reading his mixed martial arts record. He's got a total of 21. 19 wins and 1 loss.
That's how far we are.
And then 1 no contest.
So
So
in the UFC, there's no way that's in the
that's
UFC.
mixed martial arts right there. It says it.
That's not in the
19
UFC.
wins.
He hasn't fought 19 times since I've left.
Well, he could have been in other martial arts too. You have Pride, Bellator.
I think
What else is
I
there?
think
you
that's
got
just
Strike
his-
Force Sports. You have a couple of other. UFC is the biggest, but there are other not UFC
I just
martial
don't think
arts.
he belongs in the UFC.
Yeah. Well, like the UFC.
Well, I mean, his
is like-
record. I mean, it shows that he clearly is doing something right. I mean, not anybody can
I think
have 19-0. I mean, that's
I think he was. I think he was doing something right, but I think now he's fighting in a whole other league.
Yeah.
And I think when he heard all these things about Jorge Masvidal, I think he should have looked back at his record. And I think there's a lot of things that a lot of fighters should do. I think McGregor should have done this with his fight with Khabib. I think that Ben Askren should have taken that camp, focusing on closing the distance with kickboxing, getting to that clinch, and getting it to the ground. I think he should have taken that whole camp focusing on that. I don't know what he did for that camp. I didn't see any of that.
How long did he have to train for that?
I think the usual time is 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
6 weeks is a
I
long
feel
time to
like
train.
that's, I don't know. I feel like don't some boxers go through like a few months?
Yeah, but that's boxing.
It's boxing. It's different.
I mean, I don't know. I feel
They
like
train
you
more
should
for
definitely-
endurance
I
than
feel
just
like
to
you should
kick somebody's
definitely-
ass.
I mean, it's some, I don't know. Some people learn quicker. I don't know. I feel
I-
like that's not a lot of time.
Was never in the UFC. When I competed, I want to say it was at least 6 weeks. In advance, I would know. That I had, like. But
I mean, some of the guys go months. Like if you go for title fights, some of the guys know months in advance. who
Yeah,
they're
I
gonna
mean,
fight.
like-
title fight.
like McGregor versus Khabib, how long in advance do we know from that?
It was
Like 3-4 months.
yeah.
Maybe even more than that. And then against Floyd Mayweather, we knew like a
Yeah,
year
it was
in
like a
advance.
year, right?
Yeah, that's a lot more conditioning. That was an interesting fight.
It was
McGregor and Mayweather. That was very interesting.
We all knew who was gonna win that shit.
Yeah.
Dude, I had hopes though. I was
A
hoping.
lot of
yeah.
people was hoping,
I was
but
hoping, but I mean,
I was hoping McGregor would have won,
Yeah.
but you got to remember when you're facing against arguably one of the best boxers of all time. I mean, I don't know how you have a chance, but you got to remember he went out there swinging though. I mean, McGregor did kick some ass. Like he was really going for it. He did good, whether you like him or not.
but
he
McGregor
did all
wanted to
right.
go for the knockout. McGregor wanted to get him out in the first
the
couple
thing
of rounds.
is, you're fighting a guy who's like a professional when it comes to evading,
Right.
when it comes to slipping, when it comes to
He's the
countering
best
and parrying.
defensive boxer probably of all time. They say.
And that's what gets it.
Yeah.
That's where he makes his money.
Yeah.
So, and McGregor notoriously has been like a first round knockout
Right.
kind of guy. And Floyd Mayweather is a go the distance kind of fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two, it's completely different style. Because like UFC, what's the max they can go? Is it four rounds?
I think it's between
3 or
3 and
4.
5.
3 and 5. Yeah.
You know, boxing, you can go to what?
15.
15. I mean, he's got to train to go the distance. So clearly he's capable of going the distance. McGregor
went
is not
10.
used to long fights like that. That's
McGregor
why
is
in the beginning, McGregor was, I would say a lot of rounds went to McGregor in the very beginning. But in the end, when he started to tire out, you know, and Mayweather was still going, at a steady pace, I mean, that's where he gets it.
I thought the Khabib Nurmagomedov fight went exactly as predicted. to be
Khabib
honest
can
with you.
control any fight the way he wants it.
Khabib Nurmagomedov is a grappling master. He is a legitimate martial arts
There was a
master.
video of him like wrestling a bear.
When he was a little kid, yeah. He's been wrestling since he was a child.
Right.
A very small child in Russia. He's a black belt in judo. He's a judo master. So if he wants you on the ground, you're getting on the ground.
Right.
And he's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt. Whereas Conor McGregor's just coming in with a brown belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I'm telling you as someone that has time Brazilian jiu-jitsu, granted I only have my blue belt, a black belt's gonna beat a brown belt most of the time.
Because
Especially when he's been wrestling his entire fucking life.
wrestlers do make really good fighters.
And he's a judo black belt.
Right.
He's a judo master. There was an Olympic judo man that came to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, got his black belt in 4 years. 4 years or 4 months, something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And on average, it takes around 10 to 12 years to get your black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
It takes a long time, man, to master something like that.
Yeah.
It's like you memorize everything.
I mean, kickboxing and boxing doesn't take that long.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing kickboxing probably about 5-6 years, like I said, and I pretty much already qualified to teach.
Right.
I qualified to teach kickboxing, and then I can just throw in takedowns I've learned and grappling I've learned, and show some of the basics of mixed martial arts. I can't make you professional in mixed martial arts. I can make your stand up to ground game great, but I can't teach you everything you can know. It's best if you go to a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class for that.
Great sales pitch you got there.
Thank you, friend. Let me start my gym up now.
Well,
So
Anyway,
you- so 2021 Seth's opening up a gym.
Yeah,
in his apartment.
in my apartment. In my 1-bedroom apartment. I'm gonna put mats everywhere,
Just referring to the goddamn wall.
and we're gonna see how many walls we can break.
How about
More holes
no?
He's already
The
lost
fight-
security
you
deposit.
won't
The
know
fighting will take place in the kitchen. That's even smaller.
Nope.
Conditioning will be in the bathroom.
Basically,
Swim
just
in
a
the
fight
tub.
club.
It's a fight club. It's an underground fight club.
It's above ground.
It's above ground.
It's an way above ground. It's a third floor fight club. All right.
Are we done with Aspen?
What? How long we?
40.
40 minutes.
40 minutes.
So this is a deeper subject I want to get onto.
Real quick. A more real subject.
Much more serious subject I want to talk to. It's so in Japan, there is a crazy amount of sexualization of minors and high school girls and even children in Japan, especially in anime, which is Japanese
It's in
cartoons.
that anime. That's what it is. It's that cartoon.
So in anime, they have these things. They are called what are they called?
Lollies? Is that what it's called?
Lollies.
I don't know anything
So-
about them.
Basically, what a lolly is, to explain,
It's a child.
it's an animator's way of getting away with pedophilia.
Right.
literally.
Yeah.
So a lolly is their excuse is, well, they look like they're 6 years old, but in the anime they're like 300 years old,
Right.
and it's like no, that's a fucking 6-year-old. They look, sound, and talk like a 6-year-old. If it looks like a duck, it sounds like a duck, and it acts like a duck, it's a fucking duck.
I
Right?
mean, I bet Origin started after the nuclear bomb. Just saying.
It did, but
Just saying.
So there's a huge amount of that, especially with like high school girls. So the legal consent age in Japan is 13 years old, which is
It's too damn early.
disgusting
That's
as it is.
disgusting and ridiculous.
So, and I'm not gonna say
They
that's
haven't
just
like finished puberty. Like you're barely starting.
Finished
They're not
puberty.
even
Have
women.
they even had their period yet? Like,
Some girls have.
I mean, every woman is different, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
but 13 is still too young to consent to sex with a grown man.
Right.
I don't know with anybody.
So there's a
Sure.
big thing in Japan, and I saw a video about this. It was from a documentary. So it was this English woman. She was going around the streets of I think Tokyo or some large city in Japan, and there are these girls that will stand on the corners of the streets or just on the sidewalk in their high school uniforms, and they'll just stand there,
Yeah.
and they'll wait for someone to come pick them up like a prostitute. And there's like websites where you can go on and you can hire a girl, a high school girl, to go on a date with you, like a 40, 50-year-old man. Sometimes those dates will lead to sex.
Right.
Sometimes they'll just lead to, touching, kissing, sleeping together, shit like that.
Right.
That's fucking terrible. It's
Yeah,
disgusting.
You're talking about
And this
13-year-old
is-
kids, right?
I'm talking about 13, 14,
Anywhere,
15,
yeah.
high school.
Like,
usually.
like 13 to 18.
I
Or
mean,
like 17, I guess.
I mean, if you're, I don't know how I feel about that being 17. I mean,
That's still a little, it's still
yeah,
young.
It's still young.
I-
you don't even know.
I
yet,
mean,
really.
yeah, but like I
To be
said,
doing
when you're-
prostitution, though.
Well, yeah, prostitution's wrong
So-
regardless. But I mean,
It's-
if you're 17, I mean, they're at that point where
It's
Yeah,
different
the
when you're
pedophilia
17
thing-
and your lover's
the pedophilia
17.
thing.
Right. It's
But when you're 17
I
with a
wouldn't really
50,
call it
52-year-old,
Yeah,
So-
I don't know. It's disgusting.
To
It is
America's
disgusting,
guidelines,
but-
to America's guidelines, how we've been trained to feel, that is 100% undoubtedly pedophilia.
Oh yeah, it is for sure. But
Yeah.
So
that's not
and
as
the
bad.
thing is, that's a
as
huge,
13-year-old.
it's a huge fucking gateway to human trafficking.
Yeah.
A terrible one.
Yeah.
Because all it takes is one guy to be like, hey, do you want to, I'll keep you safe on the streets. We can do this as a team. And the next thing you know, they're being sent somewhere to like Europe, to America,
And just
and
sold
they're
to
being
somebody.
forced to do this.
It's also too anime, like you were saying, is like the
It's an
I'd say it's
easy.
the influence for these things because people are seeing it on these little shows
Bro,
and shit, whatever books,
A
and they're
lolly,
thinking it's like the norm.
is an easy excuse for child pornography.
Right.
That's all that shit is.
There's
Yeah, it's all
also there's a lot of women, even like older, get a shit ton of plastic surgery over there to look like anime characters. That's what I've read. I've read that.
I don't have a problem with anime when it's a grown woman and a
Right.
grown man.
Right.
But when men, especially in America, are looking at something and it looks like a 5-year-old, it looks like a 6-year-old and things like that, dude, you're watching kiddie porn.
Right.
That's what you're watching. Oh, well, in the show she's like 40, 50. Like, no, she's a fucking
Right.
6-year-old. And you're jacking off to it because it's a fucking 6-year-old.
Right.
Otherwise, like, if I see that shit, I'm clicking the fuck out of there. I'm like, hell no, that's way too small for
Way
me.
out of my range.
Yeah,
Right.
it's also like it all also boils down to people were like trying to normalize that shit.
Yeah.
You know, pedophilia, that the pedosexual bullshit, whatever you want to call it. It's sick. And there's sick-minded people out there, and that's who they're catering.
Yeah.
And you've got, and this isn't like it's a sinless thing. It's not like it's something that's unbeknown to people. You got people like R. Kelly, like Michael Jackson, that were known pedophiles. R. Kelly used to put girls in his basement. He used to bring them home from foreign countries, put them in his basement, he'd peed on them, and he'd have sex with them. They're like
Oh my
13,
God.
14 years old.
Yeah.
He literally sang a song in the Philippines that was essentially just a recruitment video.
Yeah.
He's literally sitting there singing, "Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots? You want to come back with Rob to America?" You're recruiting girls, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
And then there's a documentary on HBO about him, and they took a couple of the girls that he had, and they took them through his house, and they came by a room, and they're like, "No, I can't go in there. That's where everything happened. I can't go in there."
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And then you
It
have
is.
people like Michael Jackson. Like, we can easily prove that Michael Jackson did what he did. There's a documentary. He would sleep with boys. He would get boys to sleep in his bed. And actually, I believe, allegedly, that's England. He would have sex with them.
They say also there was a family that like
They
paid
moved
to
out there with
keep
him. He
quiet.
bought them a house.
He literally
Yeah.
he kept them quiet. Like he was like, "Hey, I'll do this and this for you to keep
He
you quiet." I didn't fuck your kid or nothing.
He
but,
would
you
tell
know.
these kids the basic thing that we're all taught in school. He would tell them, "Well, you can't tell anybody, because then I'll go to jail, and then you'll go to jail too."
Right.
And that's how he would get them to stay silent.
Yep.
And he would fool them, basically giving them the what's that syndrome where you fall in love with your captor?
I was literally talking about this the other day.
So
I think it was.
he would get them to be like, "We're in love, you love me, we're in love."
Right.
And he would trick them into thinking this, because that's what he's doing. He's lying to them. He's tricking them into thinking these things, and they would go on to believing that. And so they would be in court one day, and they'd be like, "Well, no, we're in love. He didn't do anything to me. He didn't do anything to me because they don't want to get him in trouble."
Right.
Now they come out as adults. They understand what happened,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Yes, I'm willing to testify against this."
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well,
He's
but everybody's
dead
like,
now, so I mean, there's really nothing.
but now everybody's just shunning these people, blaming the victims. It's like, well, why are you changing your mind now? But it happens a lot with victims. They're victims. They don't know how to react when it first
We gotta
happens.
remember too. Some people choose to be a fake victim. Is why you can't necessarily. It's sad.
These
You
are
can't necessarily trust.
But these are
things.
like
But these
people
are
that were
grown
children.
men that it happened to.
Right.
That
When
it
they
was
were
them
children.
originally.
I mean, when you're a child, I mean, even though, like, say,
You don't want to believe it happened
right,
for all your life.
yeah,
Well, yeah. I mean, of course, it's wrong, and I mean, I believe it, but
And it was like how many kids? Like 5 boys.
Oh my God.
And then as soon as they would get
that's
to a
what
certain
we
age,
know of.
and as soon as they would get to a certain age, you would just dump them.
Right.
You just get rid of them.
Yeah.
You're like, well, you're not my type anymore. Bye.
Right.
And then you bring in the next boy, and it's like, well, I thought we were in love. What happened? You grew up.
Right.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
I want a small child. That's what I want.
Some people are weird like that, man.
R. Kelly would trick people. Actually, R. Kelly tricked people the same way Michael Jackson tricked people.
Basically.
Michael Jackson, I think what happened, he put out an ad, was like, send me videos. If I think you dance well enough, you sing well enough, I'll coach you, I'll mentor you.
Right.
That's what R. Kelly did. He told girls that he would mentor these girls in singing, and he'd make them famous one day.
Yeah.
And so these families were like, go ahead. With Michael Jackson bought one of them a fucking house.
Right.
Yeah.
And this boy's just living with them
Yeah.
for like days, like a whole summer or something like
Yeah,
that.
something like
And they're just with this random stranger. That's
Yeah.
what he is.
Yeah.
I get he's a celebrity, but he's a stranger,
Yeah.
and you're letting your child go stay with a stranger.
It's sad that people, you know, be that way.
It's disgusting.
It is.
really is.
It is very disgusting.
So this is
It also happens with older people too. Some people are sick enough and they'll like fucking, force themselves on the elderly, and then it's like people can't. It's basically people prey on the weak. It seems like people who can't really defend themselves.
they're wolves.
Yeah.
They're wolves. That's what they are. And nowadays, when the sheep tries to rise up, all the other sheep are like, nah, fuck you, you're crying wolf.
Right.
You just want money.
Yeah.
You're not real. But a lot of the times it is. I would say more often than not, it actually happens.
Oh yeah, I mean I've seen it even like working at work and stuff like that. You see people do shit to other individuals.
And it's like in the Army. So a big thing with the Army that a lot of older Army guys complain about nowadays, when they call us, weak and Army's not as tough as it used to be, is because we enacted a programs called the Equal Opportunity Program and the SHARP program, Sexual Harassment Assault Response Prevention Program.
Right.
So the Equal Opportunity Program is because back in the day, back in the era of like Vietnam and like early Iraq and Iran, people were racist as hell, like all the time. Go watch Full Metal Jacket, you can see it. It's all the time, and that's just how it was. No one had a right to complain. You didn't have a right to feel special or anything like that.
When it's the norm, whether it's wrong or right, if it's what happens often, no one's gonna say nothing.
Right.
And
Because
then
it is what it
eventually-
is. And if it's what's all around you, then that's the norm.
And then eventually, people started speaking up. And they're like, stop being pussies.
Right.
But the world changed. And we're like, look, we need to put an end to this.
Yeah.
And an end is being put to it. Now they have a way to complain. And the SHARP program came around because, again, back in those days, when women would be working in areas, they'd have, a female female specialist or corporal. They'd have their staff sergeant come up to them, their first sergeant, and they just have them on the ass, they'd rape them, they'd make sexual comments to them, the whole unit would.
Yeah.
And it would happen
Sexual
all
assault
the time. Sexual assault was rampant in the military back then. Then they made the SHARP program, where now you have a select individual. You can say, hey, look, I've been assaulted, I've been harassed, I've been raped. Now they have someone to go to that they will solve it, they will put a stop to it, and like before they even start the investigation, they will remove that person or you from the unit.
Right.
Which is a big issue in basic training. Because, I mean, yes, this happened a lot with drill sergeants. Drill sergeants would assault younger girls.
Right.
But now, drill sergeant will get loud with a girl, and she'll report her for a sharp charge, and he'll be removed from from that unit.
Yeah.
And that's wrong.
Yeah.
Obviously, we get a brief that's literally like, hey, females, please don't do this shit. You will ruin someone's life.
Right.
Which, that's kind of bullshit, but I enjoy the EO and SHARP program being installed because you're holding soldiers to a higher standard.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, also too, it's pretty good for women as well. I mean, shit, they got it pretty rough. I got a lot of respect for women. I mean, it's like, dude, some of the shit that happens is like, if I have a kid or my girlfriend, I don't want to walk in nowhere or going anywhere by themselves because of that kind of shit. It's sick that people out there that do that stuff, especially in places like where we live. It's not the best of areas. I mean, it's like normal to see those or hear those kind of things happening, and it's sick. It's almost like you want to constantly be on guard and protecting yourself.
And I don't think anybody should have to live like that.
Yeah. No, definitely not.
You don't need to live like a freaking guard.
Right.
Dave Chappelle has a joke about it. Well, not really a joke, but sort of more so. Like, he's like, he was doing a comedy show one night in New York for a bunch of drug dealers, and they gave him $20,000. They said, look, I really enjoyed your show. It's just a place where drug dealers go to clean up their money. They have a comedy cellar. We really enjoyed your show. Here's this money. Go straight home. And he has to walk through Brooklyn, like a bad area in Brooklyn. And he's like, man, if anybody knew I had this on me right now, they would kill me for it.
Oh yeah.
And then he's like, this is how a woman feels all the time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He's like, you couldn't pay me enough money to walk down a bad street like that at night by myself with a vagina. You couldn't pay me enough
Oh
money
yeah, man.
because you will die for it.
Yeah.
Men are disgusting creatures.
People
Oh,
are dicks,
most
man. People are sick.
You know what's crazy?
Is that we can't hear you over here?
No, you can, because I can hear myself.
She's just very, very soft spoken.
Is that ever since I was young, my mom would tell me, always carry your keys with you, because I would stick a key in between my fingers as I'm walking down the street alone, in case someone tried to attack me, and to jab their face with the fucking key.
The best solution.
And it's sad as a young woman that my mother has to tell me that.
Yeah, and growing up in a rough neighborhood stuff
being
like
8
that.
years old,
Couldn't-
being
it's
told
like,
that by
you
your
know,
mother.
It's probably hard to be a woman, and that's why personally, I don't want to get to this topic, but I personally believe you should be allowed to open carry. As a woman, you should definitely be
100%.
allowed to open
Yeah,
carry.
100%.
I'm telling you. I mean, a dude will think tight.
It's-
A dude will think twice when you put a piece in his face.
It's statistically proven that in areas where people can open or concealed carry, crime rate goes
When I
down.
lived in Georgia, man, that's all people got. Man, you walk into the pet store, man, people got all kinds of shit on them. They got revolvers, freaking
That's why no one robs a gun
clocks,
store.
deagles,
Right.
shit.
That's why no one robs a gun store.
Yeah, exactly. Or shit. I mean, it's called being equal. That right there is the
Yeah.
biggest equality
That
out there
sets
is
equality.
open carry.
Because it doesn't matter
Protecting
how many
yourself.
years. Doesn't matter how many years of martial arts I've done. It doesn't matter how much I bench, how much I deadlift, how much I leg press. It doesn't matter any of that. When you got
I mean, it's
a
not that much,
44
but you know.
when you got a 44 in your pocket,
Right.
when you're carrying around a Glock 9 on you,
Right.
and you can pump 5 rounds in my
Shit,
chest
you don't even
fast
need
when I can
that.
run at you.
Right.
You don't even need that big of a gun. You know, all you need is something simple.
22.
I
Like,
22.
know, 45. I mean,
22
shit.
makes somebody go home.
You know, it's like, people carry mace and stuff, and that's cool and
Yeah.
all, but shit. Some people don't get phased by mace and stuff like that, man.
Some people don't get phased by guns at all, and you know what? When you don't get phased by it and you keep going on, I'm letting this trigger fly.
Right.
I'm pumping
It's
six
on.
in
What
your
it is,
I'm
right?
pumping 6 into your chest, and guess what? I'm going to bed like a baby. I'm sleeping like an angel.
I don't know. It's like,
You're
we
not
talk
even on my
about
conscience.
we talk about all these rape victims and things like that, and we sit and boo-hoo about it, but not a lot of people will come up and give it a solution. And I'm telling you, that is probably the best solution you can think of. Open carry for women
Yeah.
specifically.
Especially college campuses.
Yeah. Well, I just
Oh
think
yeah, colleges are rough as shit. You got them frat guys, man.
Yeah.
They're all hungry.
They're
All of them
And
drinking,
drunk,
hungry.
right.
But you
Oh,
can't
yeah,
really
man.
carry in college because
Yeah.
they
Some
have
colleges can.
they have metal detectors when you
Yeah.
go
some
into
college-
there.
Some colleges you can. I think it's I think Seattle you can. I think Alabama you can.
And it's just that's what we came.
What about the state that we're in?
Our
Like
state
Maryland, you
fucking
can't.
sucks.
You
That's
can't.
what it is. You can't do nothing.
Yeah.
With it. You can't. Shit, someone can
There's
break
no-
into your house and they can sue you.
I mean,
for you
shit. I
shooting them
went
if they go
down
into their
into
house.
the Inner Harbor and I got my pocket knife confiscated by a cop
There's
Seriously?
no self
for
defense
protection.
laws.
I got it confiscated.
There are no self-defense laws in the state of Maryland. The only self-defense laws that are in the state of Maryland is they have the Castle Doctrine, which if somebody does break into your house, you do have the right to defend yourself any means necessary. And then there's another one, I can't remember the name of it is, but if you are blocked, say you're blocked into a corner and someone's beating you half to death, and you have no means of escape, then you are allowed to defend yourself.
Well, it's
But if
kinda
someone just
bullshit.
comes up to me and just starts beating the piss out of me or pulls a gun on me, I'm not allowed to do anything about it.
Right, and that's bullshit.
That's
I have to
right.
wait for a cop to
I
come.
like the Pennsylvania law, which is the king of the castle law, meaning that you can give them a warning, but that's all you need to do. Because at that point, once you've warned them, they know what's about to happen. Like, hey, I got a fucking gun. That's all you need to do. And then you can do whatever means necessary. It's your fucking house.
So-
you need to protect your family.
So Seattle has a law. I'm a big fan of Washington State because I'm from Alaska originally. My family comes from Washington State. So in Washington State, they have a law that's the what's the name? Mutual combat law, which means if I have a problem with somebody, me and him can meet together. We can call the police department and say, hey, me and Bruce here, we've been having a lot of problems and we want to fight. We both agree to fight. And a cop will come down and get a statement from both of you saying you both agree that you want to fight. No one can push charges. And they will literally ref that fight for you.
Well,
That's great.
personally, I think that's kind of stupid.
I think it's
I
smart.
think that's
It's
wonderful.
cool if
I
you
think
want
it
to
would
fight
settle a
somebody,
lot
but
of
what are you
beefs.
going to do when that coward stabs you or shoots
You got
or
a cop
something?
right there,
There's a
though.
cop
That's the
right
thing. If you pull out a knife or a
just
gun
saying.
that's assault with a deadly weapon, they will gun you the fuck down.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
saying
different.
some
It's
people
different
don't
when
care.
you're
Some
just
people-
fighting.
Some people will harm whether they get harmed or not. Think about it. A
The
lot
thing-
of places in the Middle
the
East, they will
thing is,
kill
if
just
you know-
knowing that they could kill somebody, no matter
But-
if they're in danger or not.
By that same logic, means you don't care if we're in a standard ground state and I have a gun on me, and if you push me, I will fucking gun you now. By that same logic, you don't care. So if you bring a gun to that fight, first of all, I'm sure the cop checks.
Right.
There's
I've
plenty-
never had
just
I've
saying.
never had that moment where I've been in Washington and I've gotten a fight like that. But I'm sure the cop is gonna check you both, make sure no one has a weapon.
Right.
And if you do pull a weapon on the guy, that cop's probably gonna gun you the fuck down.
Right.
or he's gonna tase you. He's gonna take that shit away from you, and you're gonna go to prison
I
for the
mean,
rest
that's
of your life.
cool and all that whole situation, but the thing is, you can't always depend on the law or the government or whoever is above you, because sometimes you have to take things into your own hands.
However,
And
if
that
you can
would be
avoid that,
my
though,
way of defending myself.
if you can defend,
If somebody wanted to harm me and I was capable of doing it, I'm gonna shoot you in the fucking face.
I'm saying this is like a means of settling beef with somebody. Because nowadays, if two kids scrap in the schoolyard, one of them's gonna catch an assault charge.
Oh, that's not even fair nowadays. It's like you'll get jumped by 3 other guys. You just
Oh, yeah, it's
assault
bullshit,
one
man.
guy. Right.
If someone attacks you, you should be allowed to defend yourself, and that guy should get an assault charge.
Yeah.
However, if me and someone are having a lot of disagreements and we both want to fight each other, a fair one-on-one fight, regardless of who's
That should
taking
be
one, who's the
allowed,
better
but-
fighter, and I can have someone come down, ref the fight, no one's gonna get beaten to death.
Right.
Then that should be allowed. That should be a thing. That's why I like that law.
Yeah.
Because now I have a ref. I have a referee on site.
Okay, well, here's my thing. Okay, what about before the fight or after the fight? Let's say you fucking lose, you get your ass whooped.
And that's
Okay,
that.
Not everybody's gonna take that and be okay with it. Like there was a
The thing is
situation
you're-
at like, what about this? Okay, there was a person at Chesapeake back when I went there when I was in like 9th grade. They were gonna fight.
Chesapeake High School in Maryland, by the way.
He was gonna fight somebody, and he actually brought a gun to school.
I remember this.
He was
Yeah,
gonna
that's
fight
it.
somebody, and if he lost, and he even said his plan was to fucking shoot the person.
This is the
That's
thing.
that's the thing you have to worry about is
But
people
at
like
the same
that.
time, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, Washington State is a stand your ground state. You can concealed carry or open carry.
Well, you should have
in
said that at the
Washington
very
State.
beginning.
Well, I think with the
So you
whole-
have to have that law. You also have self-defense laws.
Yeah.
Because you can't. There's no law that's gonna solve the world.
Yeah.
There
Well,
is no
nothing.
law. There's always
going to be bad
Yeah.
people, and you know, whether you take guns or give more, there's always going to be a psychopath out
And
there.
there will
We'll get a hold of
always-
it. And here's the thing too, with like to come back over to gun control, you know, you can't take those things away from people because it's like drugs. Okay, not saying you're addicted. Well, they can be addictive if you're into them, but the point is, you can make them illegal all you want, but that doesn't mean they're going to go away. You think that the good law-abiding people will usually go with it unless they want to resist, which that would be mass numbers, but it's,
Yeah, the government takes your guns. I'm sorry, everybody, you're gonna lose.
I mean, I'm just saying, I mean,
You
but
can't
the thing
beat a
is,
drone.
Yeah.
but the thing is, the bad people are not going to give things away. They're not going to listen. That's the point. That's why you have that.
I actually kind of like that argument about, oh, the government takes my guns, I'm gonna stand up for myself. That argument is the same as we're gonna storm Area 51. They can't take all of
I
us.
don't know about that. I mean, you got to, I mean, if they try to take guns away, I'm sure there's a lot of people
I'm
in the
just
military
saying,
as well, too.
if
Military, National Guard, I mean, if people resist, it will happen.
If Billy Joe is standing in his house, he's got his 20 gauge or his AR, and a squad of Marines or a squad of soldiers, National Guard or not,
Right.
kicks down his door, he's not gonna fucking beat him.
I feel like the military wouldn't even intervene.
They would have no choice. It'd be their job.
That's the thing, but that's a tyrannical government situation right there. Because even in the oath, it's you know they will protect foreign and domestic. I'm just
Again,
saying they
you will
got to
fight
protect the rights
terrorists.
of.
You will fight the enemies
You
of the
defend the
United States.
Constitution.
That's not what this oath is. I've taken the oath for you.
I thought it
The
talks about
oath
defending
is-
the Constitution.
The oath is I will defend the people of America from terrorists, both foreign and domestic. And if you are resisting the government's laws, which is them trying to protect us, you are now
I'm
a
just-
terrorist, a
I
domestic
feel like
terrorist.
okay, well I got that wrong. The whole oath thing, but I think personally, I feel like a lot of people, if they try to take the guns away, I feel like a
Look,
lot
if
of
you
people
go,
it's not even gonna happen. It's a constitutional right.
the law would be go down peacefully or go down with a fight.
Right.
You're choosing to go down with a fight. We're gonna bring that fucking fight, and you're gonna lose. I hate to break it to you. No one in this fucking country or in this earth is good enough to take down a squad of people when it's just one of them. There is no actual John Wick.
Wick.
I'm sorry to
John
break
Wick
it to
did it.
everyone. I'm sorry to break it to everyone. That shit would not happen. Because we're not gonna go at you one on one. How we fight in the military is we all storm you all at the same time. And we just bust your fucking ass.
I'm just saying, I feel like a lot of the, I don't know. Personally, I know the military is for something. I guarantee it if something happens.
That's not everybody. That's not true.
I don't know.
Not
I feel like that.
There's a lot
I
of
don't think the
people out there
military
against
would
guns.
necessarily be involved. Well,
We
plus,
wouldn't have. They
the
wouldn't
total
have a choice.
the total population of gun owners, I'm pretty sure, is bigger than.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not bigger than the military at all. Not by any means.
There's so many, like, well, just in our state
Plus,
alone.
you're fighting fucking tanks with ARs, people. You're fighting tanks and drones with ARs. You're gonna fucking lose.
Yeah.
You're fighting an AR with an AR. You're fighting MP40s.
Right.
M4s.
MP40s are. That's a fucking submachine gun.
Yes.
That we don't. That's
You're fighting LMGs. Yes, we use all those kinds of guns in the military.
MP40s,
We
like the
use
World War
everything.
II MP40.
We use everything.
Don't use it. There's no way they're
Special forces can get them.
Special forces can get them, but I doubt they use them. Why
If
would you
you're
use
that
something
big of a
that shitty
I'm just
compared
saying
to
you're
something
fighting with an AR-15. Whether you have it fully automatic or not, you're gonna fight an LMG, an assault rifle, and probably a guy with a fucking SMG.
There's a guy about a mile away with probably a very 50 cal. It's just gonna blow your
I don't
fucking
think
head off.
they. Oh yeah. M40s
They're
are
gonna
fine,
fucking
but
drop
shit.
you. It's gonna happen. They're gonna say surrender. You're gonna say no, I don't fucking wanna. Then they're gonna be like,
Why do all gun
Okay.
owners have to sound like rednecks?
because it's funny to me.
Because
It
all
is
of
They're
them
kind
gonna
of
kick
funny.
that fucking door in, and they're gonna bust your ass. They're gonna kill you in front of your family, and they're gonna take that goddamn gun, and they're gonna go about their merry way. Are they gonna sleep well at night? Probably fucking not. But they're gonna have a war boner when they're doing it.
Yep.
A war boner. I hate to break it to you. A lot of people that die in war are innocent.
Oh,
It happens.
that is a small price to pay for salvation.
Not really,
Not
but
The
it
quote
happens.
of Thanos.
Not really, but it happens.
I mean,
And realistically, they wouldn't even have to get the military. They could send one CIA agent in, and he would take your gun before you even fucking knew what happened. Or they would just slip your throat in the middle of the night. That would be that. People don't know the power the government has. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
Donald Trump knocking on your fucking door.
Oh, yeah,
I
for
hate
sure.
to break it to you. Bernie Sanders isn't going to go, can I have your guns, please? It's not going to happen. They're going to send a highly trained individual or squad of individuals to fuck your day up when you tell them no.
I feel like they wouldn't even need a squad. I feel like they would only need like 2 or 3 guys.
That's the point.
It depends on who they send. If they send a CIA dude, one guy.
One guy,
One
yeah.
fucking
guy.
dude.
Fuck your day up.
And that's going to be
About
it.
30 seconds.
You're gonna be like, well, I have my 20 gauge, I got my AR, I got my 30-06, and he's got a pocket knife, a little
Yeah.
Swiss Army knife, and he's gonna shove it down your
He's got a
gullet.
screwdriver in your
Without you even knowing.
You're
about
gonna be asleep one night, and that's gonna be that. He'll be your wife.
Yep.
You won't know it. He's your wife.
it. You'll
This
be
whole
fucking
time.
him and you won't even know it.
You'll think he has a vagina.
Yeah.
You will
Like,
not
joke's on
know.
you, I'm a man.
People really underestimate the power of the government.
Oh, yeah.
Majorly.
The things they can
I'm not
do.
saying we would win if something like that happened, but I'm saying there
But there's-
sure would be a lot of people fighting
But
against
there
our
would be, there are people that think that they would win, and you
Yes,
wouldn't
you
win.
would.
Oh,
It's
maybe
not
we would.
like the revolution movies that you see.
Right.
It's not like that. It's not gonna happen.
Well, it's not like people. A lot of people think it's like back in the time that we fought the
Back in
Civil
the day,
War
we,
and whatnot.
we had muskets. There was
Right.
muskets versus
Revolutionary
muskets.
War.
It's like, we don't have that anymore. We have fully automatic weapons.
They
So
didn't
it's
have
just
training
not-
back then.
Yeah, no. It was like, if you could load it, you were in the
Stand,
army.
shoot.
Well, the Vietnamese beat the government. Yeah, the Vietnamese have been fighting since they were born.
Right.
They came out with a pistol.
Yeah. We had puberty. They got an AK-47, and that was that.
They learned to hide in trees, fucking cover themselves in ghillie material,
That wasn't even-
and just ruin your day.
Yeah.
And we were sending little 18-year-olds that had 2 weeks of basic training.
Yeah.
That was a bloody war.
We didn't
a
even
lot
know
of
the
people say
place.
it wasn't even a war.
Nowadays, they're fully trained in every sort of way, and you're gonna lose. Now, that being said, I'm being told that we are over an hour, so hate to leave off on a high note like that, but that is going to be that's gonna be it for us. Catch us in next week. We'll be recording sometime between Friday 7 and 8, and can't wait to see you there. Bye, guys.
Yeah, see you guys later.